Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am going to be talking about Earth. I have noted down a little bit about Earth. I didn't go into too much detail, it's just small, quick, easy paragraphs, okay? So my topics are: how did Earth form, the Big Bang theory, like the Big Bang, a creation, and the giant's impact. So they're the topics that I'll be talking about. Alright? So please excuse me while I read off my notes. And of course, as always, every time I do a YouTube video, my cat's going to annoy me, so I'm going to have to kick her out of my room. I'll be back. And I'm back. Nice and quick. Alright, so I'm going to get on with today's topic, Earth. How did Earth form? Earth was formed around 4.6 billion years ago through a process called accretion, where a swirling cloud of dust and gas known as a solar nebula, which gradually collapsed under gravity. This cloud grew into a larger and larger clumps, which eventually leading to the formation of planet Earth. The Big Bang. The universe began with the Big Bang, which was the result of the spread of matter throughout space. This matter included dust and gas, which had formed a swirling disk around the newly formed sun called the solar nebula. Accretion. Within the solar nebula, gravity caused smaller particles to collide and stick together, forming larger and larger objects. This is known as accretion. Continued until it formed the planets, including Earth. And when I say including the planets, I mean all the planets. So Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, okay, you name it, all the planets. All right, the giant's impact. A crucial step on Earth's formation involved a giant impact with a Mars-sized object. This collision threw debris into space, which then later formed the moon. So, the moon was actually formed by a collision, okay? Now, scientists have said that the moon was formed by space rocks, right? Asteroids. Well, clearly it doesn't state that in the information that I've just given for the impact of the moon, alright? But the moon itself has a gravitational pull, alright? It controls our tides, alright? So high tide, low tide, king tide, tidal wave, tsunami, alright? It controls all of that. It's powerful, alright? And the moon's glow is so bright, or can get so bright, you can actually see the moon's light shine through your blind or your curtain, alright? The moon is actually moving further and further away from Earth's orbit, okay? And it's a gradual move out of orbit, okay? So we don't notice the moon's pulling away from Earth because it's gradual, it's minor, okay? So we don't notice it as much. Now, when the moon is actually on its back, it's going to be the coldest night on Earth, right? But when the moon is full, it's still going to be cold. Why? Because it's winter. So the moon has no effect on the weather. It has no control over that. It only has control over the gravitational pull because of our tides. It controls our tides. Alright? So there you have it. This is just something quick and easy on how Earth was created. Alright? So there we go. There's a bit of information right there about the Big Bang. Now, when I said that the Earth was formed 4.6 billion years ago, now, I know I said in my space and time video that nobody has the answer to everything, which is true. Nobody knows the real answer. So nobody actually knows how old Earth actually really is. Okay? Nobody knows. So, obviously, these scientists have only guessed how old Earth was, or how our Earth, So it's just an estimate, basically, because nobody knows the real answer. Like I said in my space and time video, nobody knows the answer. All right? Now, having said that, 4.6 billion years, right? How does religion fit into it? How? Religion's older, much older than 4.6 billion years, right? So, in other words, how does God fit into it? How did he make all these planets 4.6 billion years ago? Okay, like I said, this is an estimated time frame that's been given to us because nobody knows the actual answer as to how it all began. All right? They only found the answer to how it all started. The timeline is just an estimate of when it began. All right? Just an estimate. Okay, nobody knows, but then to say that gravity collapsed, so basically the collapsation of the gravity, right? So basically I said dust and gas, known as a solar nebula, which gradually collapsed under gravity. So, does that mean our gravity was actually made from this matter? Alright? I don't know. That's what it says in the information that I read. Alright? That's what I found in my information. Alright? But these clumps grew larger and larger, right? Which then obviously formed our planet Earth. But then to say that, where is it? And then to say that the universe began with the Big Bang, which was the result of the spread of matter throughout space. This matter had included dust and gas, which formed a swirling disk. Now these disks clearly have stars in them. We don't see them, not with our telescope. Okay, we don't see our galaxy that we're in. Okay, so each galaxy would have its own solar system. right? Going by that bit of information, it sounds as though each galaxy has its own solar system, which means each galaxy would have its own planet circling around its very own star. Just like our solar system, the sun is actually known as a star. It's a gas giant. It is one of the largest stars in our universe that we can actually see clearly without a telescope. But you should never look at the star. Why? Because it'll burn your eyes and it'll make you go blind. But if you look out for a split second, everything will go blurry, right? And then your vision comes good after a while, right? It happens to me. If I'm not wearing my sunglasses and I'm outside and it's in the middle of summer and it's super bright outside, and when I come back inside where there's shade and dim lighting, everything looks dark. All right? That's because I'm temporarily blinded by the sun's light because I did not protect my eyes with my sunglasses. Now, having said that, your sunglasses should be UV protected, which means sun protected. All right? It protects your eyes, it keeps the sun off your eyes, all right? And it makes it less bright. So always make sure you buy the correct sunglasses. Go to an optometrist. Okay, go to an optometrist if you're unsure about store-bought sunglasses. Okay, go to an optometrist and buy the really good, expensive sunglasses because you know they'll work very well. But like with me, I don't have an issue. I go to Kmart, I pick out my sunglasses, all right? And I'm fine. Why? Because I know what I'm buying. Okay, I know what I'm choosing, and our stores have to have the correct conduct, okay? Our shops cannot sell sunglasses that are not UV protected. Our sunglasses must be UV protected to be sold on the market. Okay, so if you go on Temu and you buy a pair of sunglasses, they're not UV protected, okay? It's very important to read the description carefully, okay? Do not fall into that fake information that you see on Temu, okay? Because those sellers will say it's UV protected, but if you go to an optometrist and get a second opinion on the sunglasses you purchased from Temu, they're going to tell you straight up, they are no good. They're not actual sunglasses. Okay, there is no protection. There is no way your eyes will be protected from the sun because they're not UV protected. All right, so it's always best to go to an optometrist to buy your UV protected sunglasses or a chemist or your local store. Rather it's a supermarket, rather it's, a store that you decide to go to, right? So any store will do. So, having said all this, what's going to happen to our sun? AKA our star. Once all this is destroyed. Well, nothing. Why? Because our star will be the first to go. Because our star is so old, all right, it's drawing in a lot of heat. Our star is expanding bigger and bigger and bigger to the point it's going to give off this one big solar flare and it's going to destroy our technology. and that technology will no longer work, then these people will then have to rebuild the technology and replace our PowerPoints and our light fixtures, right, with new ones. Our power lines will have to be replaced with new ones, and this could take several months or several years to get all this fixed from a solar storm. All right. However, if the sun keeps expanding, it's going to, die off eventually and turn into a black hole. Now, a black hole has matter, right? Light matter and dark matter. Dark matter is on the bottom, light matter is up the top. Or is it the other way around? I think it's the other way around. What's on the other side of the black hole? Nothing. It's just that. It's just a black hole. A black void. There is nothing on the other side. But matter. Okay? Gases. Energy. Okay? If you enter the black hole, you're going to die. It's just as simple as that. You'll die. And I'm pretty sure there are plenty of astronauts who have drifted off into space because their tether has snapped off and they've just drifted straight off, and they've probably found themselves into a black hole and their oxygen tank is running very low. They only have seconds of survival and then they're completely dead. All right? So there is no oxygen up in space. However, Earth has oxygen. Why? Because we have trees. Trees give us oxygen to breathe. What happens if you cut down trees? Now, I'm not a tree hugger. Okay, so don't get me wrong, I am not one. However, I am sick and tired of these people. I'm sick and tired of the council going around cutting down all these trees, logging them. Okay, I am fed up. It is destroying our planet. It is basically taking away our ability to breathe, our only source of oxygen. So shame to those people who log our trees, who cut them down. Okay. However, nobody does anything to stop it. Nobody. Okay. The government is laughing in our faces right now, saying, yeah, sure, we're going to take away the only thing that keeps you alive. The only thing that keeps you breathing. The only thing that's important to humankind that gives us oxygen and provides shade. They're called trees. Okay? So, Earth is trying to reclaim, right? Trying to heal. All right, it's trying to take back what it's missing. It's trying to regrow our trees. It's trying to regrow our grass. And, okay, it's trying to get our climate under control. Okay, so Earth at the moment is actually shifting. The poles are shifting. We are in the middle of the Great Reset. The poles, north and south, have slightly shifted. However, they're going to shift even more in another couple of years. So, even though the poles have started to shift back in 2020, it is now 2025. North and south have shifted yet once again, right? So, in another few years after 2025, those two poles will shift even more. And it is going to be gradual. It is a slow process. So we don't feel this happening, okay, because we spin with the earth, right? We don't feel the earth slowing down. Why? Because we spin with the earth. Okay? Sure, we can kind of sort of feel the earth slowing down because the energy that we're feeling right now is making us weak and tired. Why? Because the days are getting longer, nights are getting shorter every year, whether it's daylight savings or not. There is going to be a huge change, and this change is coming so fast you don't even realize it. Okay, so in 50,000 years, these two poles would have shifted completely. Everything would have been flipped and reset. Okay, we would have another ice age in 50,000 years. All right, so enjoy your time on Earth while you still can. Enjoy it, basically. Be thankful that you're still alive, that you're still on this planet today. Embrace it, okay? Embrace life. Be happy. Be happy for what you've got at the moment before it's all taken away. Because what gave life can take it away. And that's exactly what Earth is trying to do. But the government is trying to take it away. So it's kind of like that. So now coming back to Earth, how do we get here? Well, asteroids gave life, so they say. So, okay, because technically asteroids have full of life. And when it hit Earth, life began. Dinosaurs happened. It was the start of evolution. God created this. God wanted this. All right? He wanted these events to happen. I don't think he intentionally wanted the dinosaurs to be killed, but, just to keep the timeline going. Clearly. All right? Just to keep Earth going, to keep Earth alive. So, what gave life took it away? Some people say it was a comet, some people say it was an earthquake. I believe it was an earthquake that got rid of the dinosaurs, that made them extinct. However, asteroid got rid of the dinosaurs. But once again, why are there still dinosaurs on this planet today if they had been extinct? And why can no scientists find remains of dinosaurs today? Like, dinosaur bones are not found, okay? Nobody can find dinosaur bones. What you see in the museum is plaster, okay? It's not real, okay? They're just fake dinosaur bones. Well, this is how evolution works. Everything changes. Alright? So, a pterodactyl went from a pterodactyl and shrunk down in size and turned into a bird. Okay, and then, obviously, there are different kinds of species of birds, right? So, there will have been different kinds of species of pterodactyls to create different kinds of birds. Alright? Then you've got your crocodile and your alligator and your hippo and your rhinoceros and okay, they're all dinosaurs and they're still roaming Earth today. And some of these dinosaurs you can find over in Africa. They're called a rhino or rhinoceros or a hippo or hippopotamus. It depends on what you want to call them. However, other parts on this world would have alligators, crocodiles, and sharks. They're considered to be dinosaurs, including lizards. Okay, if you think about it, what does a blue-tongued lizard remind you of? A T-Rex. Well, it reminds me of a T-Rex. The shape of its head. Alright? And the scaly body. And the sharp teeth. I don't know, but I guess they will have lost their teeth as soon as they evolved into lizards, I'm assuming. Or their teeth probably will have shrunk in size, so you're not so scary looking. So, there we go. There's your answer to Earth. There is your answer to evolution. Everything I just gave is all fact. Okay? And I'm trying to give you these facts to the very best I can. Okay? So, sorry. I'm getting a dry throat. Alright. Sorry guys. I have a dry throat. Man, that's a lot of talking. just for a lot of facts about a solar system. Wow. Okay. I don't think I can say much more about our solar system and evolution. Okay, because I pretty much said everything in my space and time video with evolution. Along with time travel, I said all that. So, I guess this is basically going to sum it up. So, Earth is going to sum up the space and time. Wow. Because like I said, in my space and time video, I've pretty much discussed everything to do with time travel, to do with evolution, and what is space. Alright, so I will send that. I'll rephrase. I'll put that link in the description if you haven't seen the space and time video, so you know what I'm talking about. Alright, because that video will actually go with this video. Okay, Earth. Alright, because space and time and Earth will actually go together. The reason why both videos aren't weren't done at the same time is because I'm trying to space out my videos, like my new content, so it doesn't feel repetitive and I can still keep doing my older content in between, which is the reason why space and time and Earth aren't put together. They're actually separate. Alright? So, if you guys don't believe the research I've done, well, here it is. This is the research I've done. So now you guys actually believe me that I do my research, okay? What I just showed you is proof that I do actually look for information to give you guys about space. Alright? Now, I do have another space topic coming up, but I don't know what space topic I'm going to pick next. Hopefully it's going to be one of my favorite planets, Saturn. I love Saturn, only because of its rings. And, well, you know, I've always been fascinated by Saturn. Right, and well, who knows? I might actually do the history of Saturn, how it got its name. Might actually do that in my next space video. So how about that? Might actually do a history of how Saturn got its name. So now I'm going to end this video on a short note. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this brief video on Earth. Like I said, I'm going to put the link in description for the space and time video, so you can see that it does combined in with space and time, like this video. So if you like my videos, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like. Comments and questions left down below. Please be respectful, okay? No inappropriate comments, okay? I'm only going to say this once. Be mindful, be respectful. Do not call me babe. Do not call me baby. Do not call me honey. Do not call me any of those names. Okay? I am not interested in any of you guys. Okay? I'm not interested in dating any of you guys, is what I'm trying to say. Do not criticize my weight. Okay? That is a big fat no-no. Do not bully my other fans if you're new to my channel. Okay, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. These are my basic, simple rules for my channel. Okay? If you don't understand my rules, that is on you, not on me. And also, your notification bell is optional, okay? Now, I do love you guys. I love all my fans, all right? I do appreciate your comments. I do appreciate your shares, likes, and subscribe. All right? I appreciate all of that. Just to clarify that. All right, so I'll see you guys in my next video called Saturn. Bye.